Flick off your jandals, crack a cold one from the chili bin, chuck on some cans and enjoy a Kiwi take on all things Arsenal.
Good morning. How are we doing, Dave?
Morning.
Well, welcome everyone. We are not, I guess, in for the morning we hoped for, but welcome along to our, first post-game show. Not the start we wanted. Finished up Arsenal 0, Brentford 2. Where do we go from here, Dave?
Well, where we go is in a different direction, I suppose. It seems like just this, we've just been, started exactly the same as we ended last season. Nothing's changed. I don't see any different ideas. It's basically just the same attack. I know it's relatively the same team, but I mean, it doesn't seem like we've worked on anything new from last season. We didn't, when things don't work, you try something new. It seems like that hasn't happened. I don't know what Arteta's working on there. I couldn't see any clear plan of attack at all. Maybe not having Aubameyang and Lacazette there messed up the plans a little bit, and I think maybe Arteta didn't know what to do, putting Balogun in, who's relatively inexperienced. First Premier League start in the first game of the season. It is quite daunting, and maybe he just wasn't able to carry through the plans as Arteta wanted. But I mean, it just was very disappointing.
Yeah, like I said, not the start we were looking for, and didn't help that. We didn't have Auba or Lacazette starting or in the lineup, but we're all pretty excited with the lineup when it first came out. Pepe, Balogun, Martinelli, and Smith Rowe up top. What were your thoughts before kickoff on the lineup?
Well, I was really surprised. As soon as I woke up, I literally just rolled over and checked what the team sheet was and saw Balogun up front, and I was like, what? What's going on? Why isn't Aubameyang starting on Lacazette? I think if they were fit, we wouldn't have seen Balogun, and probably not. I don't think we would have seen Martinelli start either. I think that was out of necessity. I think he would have definitely had them on the bench, especially Martinelli on the bench to come on. But seeing them start, I was a bit nervous, especially with the Balogun thing. I just looked at him and thought, he's never started a Premier League game before. We haven't seen anything from him to suggest that he can go out there and lead the line for us. Martinelli, different from not Martinelli. He has scored a couple of goals and he had a pretty good chance today. But it didn't really fill me with much hope, to be honest. And when I was watching the game, when watching the build-up to the game, the teams were coming out, and Brentford came out to an absolute roar from the fans, and it just looked like the fairy tale for them. I even put in our chat, I said I was shitting myself because at that moment I thought we were going to lose. And I don't mean to be negative. It's nothing against us. I just think they were so hyped up for this game that it was going to take something very special for us to win.
Yeah. Do you think new season with the fans back, away teams possibly going to struggle again with fans back in the stadium? I mean, going to these smaller sides was always tough when the fans got behind them, especially for Arsenal. We always struggled, and it sort of seemed that way today. Like they were up for it, and the fans were up for it.
Yeah, I mean, one thing you can say about us is that we're mentally quite weak. We don't deal with pressure very well. And I think that the fans definitely added to that today. They were really loud, really behind their team. And I think they responded and we didn't respond. And you're talking about the fans, how positive atmosphere it's going to be. I don't know what the atmosphere is going to be at the Emirates. I think it's going to be relatively negative. I don't think it's going to be, I think, it's going to start off quite positive. But then if, as the game goes on and we don't see any change in terms of attack, I can see it going quite negative, to be honest. I think the majority of the fan base are quite fed up. They're not happy with what we've done in the transfer window, or lack of. We've brought in a couple of players, but really only one first team player. Lukonga did start today. He started off quite brightly, but I think towards the end he faded quite a bit. In the first half, he was getting on the ball quite a lot, passing backwards mostly, but he was looking quite comfortable, wasn't losing the ball. I'm actually digressing from the fan situation, but I think the atmosphere at the Emirates could turn quite negative quite quickly. Quite first home game.
Yeah, no, I mean, we've got some tough fixtures coming up, so it's not going to help the next couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, it started okay in the first couple of minutes. Had a good chance to start with, but pretty much after the first 5 minutes, Brentford just took over the game. They were pressing us pretty well, weren't they? Did we not expect that? I mean, I know the talk before the game was they were going to be a high pressing team. Should we not have maybe prepared a bit better?
I don't know. I think the first 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or before their goal, we were dominant in possession. I think we had two-thirds of the possession before they scored. So we were dominating the game. We just weren't really doing much when we got to the outside their box. They were defending quite narrowly, which means we couldn't really penetrate them through the middle. We were having to go out wide all the time. And I think they were quite happy just for us to do the ball to go out wide, for us to put the ball into the box, and they were just dealing with it quite easily. There was one or two occasions where it did fall to Balogun's feet, but he couldn't really get it out and get a shot off. So, yeah, it's just they did press us quite a lot. I think they've obviously done their homework. They knew that if you put us under pressure at the back, we do tend to make mistakes, which we did, definitely. Their long ball we just couldn't deal with it. Every single time Rhea got the ball, he would just pump it long. Tony would dominate White or Mari. I think Mari was really bad today. As one of the tallest players on the pitch, he didn't really win many headers, did he? Tony just completely dominated him. So what they did is they just kept on trying that long ball. They knew if they hit it long, they'd probably get the second ball at the top of the pitch, and then they can literally just attack from there. And we just couldn't deal with it. And when we did have the ball in the back, they were just pressing us so relentlessly, and we just couldn't play out of it. Whereas when we did the same to them, we would press them, they would play through us pretty easily, which is quite worrying. I mean, for a promoted team to dominate us like that, it's really worrying.
Yeah, the midfield wasn't really. I mean, I don't know what we're expecting having Xhaka and Sambi Lukonga in there, but there wasn't really that defensive midfielder sitting and protecting, was there?
There wasn't someone who could tackle.
Yeah. I mean, Alan touched on it in the comments. Our play was pretty much get the ball to Tierney, and there wasn't really anyone in the box for him. But man, like his left foot must be dead. The amount of times we relied on just him crossing the ball in. That's not a good sign either, is it? We just really lack that creative spark.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it's. It could be that all we did was just give it to Tierney the whole time for him to cross in, or it was we would try the right hand side and the avenue just wasn't there. We just did not have the skill. I mean, Chambers was not very good. I don't think he put a cross into the box at all. Maybe it just seemed like whenever Tierney got the ball, he just had the skill and the talent to get past his man and get the ball in the box where Chambers couldn't do that. So it just seemed like if we were going to do something, it was going to come from that left-hand side. But it just became all too predictable. Did it not? It's just every time we got the ball, especially in the first half, every time we got the ball, it's just straight out to Tierney crossed the ball, and they were just completely happy to deal with that all day. It changed a bit in the second half. We were trying to penetrate them through the centre a bit more, with Smith Rowe going on the ball a bit higher on the pitch. And it did create some chances. There was one really good chance where he had a good turn in the middle of the field, drove at the defence and got the shot off. The shot was not very good. It was soft and directly at the keeper. But it just shows you that if you try something different or try and go through the centre, that's where they were vulnerable, and we just did not exploit that at all. It just goes back to the same. It goes back to what I said at the beginning of the podcast. It's just the same thing from last season. There's no new ideas. I don't know what Arteta has been training with the team, but it hasn't been reflecting on the pitch, and it's just us, working the ball, taking forever to get the ball to the edge of the box, and then not knowing what to do with it. You know what I mean? And by that time, their defense has positioned themselves right in front of our strikers, right in front of our attackers, and they cannot get the ball. It's just taking so long in build up. I think Lokonga and Jack are two defense-minded midfielders. Just did not create any. There was no creativity coming from the midfield.
No, and that's hopefully something we'll rectify in the next couple of weeks. It looks like after last night coming out that Real Madrid have left Odegaard out of their squad for this upcoming weekend. It seems like he does want to leave and wants to come back to us. So, last year at the end of the year, we did look better at creating with him in the team. So hopefully, we can sort that out in the next couple of days and get him in quickly, because, this team isn't ready for the season the way they are, I don't think.
No, definitely not. I love Emile Smith Rowe, but he's not. If you're looking for a creative midfielder who's going to be like your quarterback kind of player, who's just sitting there just creating plays, creating passes through the defense and behind the defense, Smith Rowe's not really that player. He's more of a player who gets the ball deep and then drives forward. He's not that player who's going to get the ball deep and, make a defense spinning pass through the defense to a non-running striker. He's just not that player. And we really did lack that today. And I think bringing in someone like Odegaard is imperative for this team. If we go into the season without a creative midfielder, we're just in the same boat as we were last year. Skill up front, we've got Pepe, Aubameyang, and Lacazette, but we've got no way of getting it to them in dangerous areas, and that is scary.
Yes. What else do you think we need in the next couple of weeks? I mean, it's obvious, but who do you think, after seeing us in the actual league now, who do you think is the most important other than a creative midfielder?
Well, looking at the bench, we need a keeper. We need a decent backup keeper. We had that young kid on there. I've never seen him play. Heavens forbid, if Leno did get injured during this game and we brought him on, not that Leno looked very good. Leno looked, I don't know, he did not look like his head was in the game. He was flapping at balls. That's someone who I would really look into. Is definitely a keeper, a creative midfielder, and I think that's what I'd focus on at the moment. I can't say you could say a striker, but the thing is, we played with Balogun. We had two strikers who were out, so I can't say on the basis of that, we need a striker. We just needed our main strikers there.
Yeah, no, it's
What did you think?
Worrying.
What did you think looking at the game?
I mean, so going into it, I was quite positive. I do worry with the result, the way it went, and the way we went in the game. Arteta may think twice about playing some of those players again up front, which is a shame, because I think they are still, really positive in the future. Martinelli, for one. Balogun still looks a bit short, like maybe too young. I didn't think his hold-up play was very good.
No.
That's really where we missed, I think, Lacazette today, was in that hold up where we had no one to go to. So it was a bit challenging to get the ball forward and progress. But yeah, I mean, our press, for someone that wants to be a pressing side, our press was non-existent.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
Straight past us.
Yeah, on numerous occasions.
When it came to being pressed ourselves, nothing's changed. Especially in the first half, we looked in trouble every time we went back to Leno and played in the back. So yeah, lots to work on.
We did. I mean, so the thing is about being the press is you have to play quickly. You have to play quick. What we do is when Leno's got the ball and he's thinking about, who am I going to pass it to? He's taking 1, 2, 3 too many seconds. There was quite a lot of 1, 2, 3 too many seconds. He's just taking too long to pass it. And when he does decide to pass it, this can be completely marked. All of our centre backs, Mari and White, are just, are marked. So we can't pass to them. And then he makes the rash decision, and more often than not, it ends in us having to kick it out, kick it, boot it long, or it goes out for a throw-in. So,
it's worrying. I think a new keeper wouldn't go amiss, but I think that might be too much to ask going into the end of the window, especially a first choice keeper. I should mention as well, I just want to mention, if anyone watching does want to join in and have their say, obviously you can do it in the chat, but feel free to join in the chat. There's a link in the comments to then join and have your say as well. Come on, talk to us. Anyone's welcome. So that way you don't have to listen to me and Dave the whole time.
I know how awesome we are.
But yeah, I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about the game?
Just talk about, again, just any sort of long ball or direct ball into the box for us is just spells trouble, complete trouble. Their first goal came from a long ball from David Raya. We struggled to deal with it. It bounced around the box a couple of times. We kicked it out. They got the second ball, and we just were lazy. We just didn't read the play, didn't recognize the danger, and they scored. And the second goal obviously comes from a long ball as well, a long throw in. Again, just echoes of Rory Delap from Stoke. It's just
nightmares of years gone by, wasn't it?
How we haven't learned how to deal with that, I just don't know.
There was a touch of player holding on to Leno, but the whole team has to be a bit stronger there, don't they?
Well, all they did was really just stand in front of him, right? They just stood in front of him and just stood their ground, and Leno couldn't get close to it. But also Marie's right there. He's one of the tallest players on the pitch, and he just completely jumps under the ball. I don't understand. I don't understand. If this is, I was always worried going into this week. I was like basically going in with the same team, bar 2 players than last season, and I knew that we were going to struggle. It's just without Saka. Did you think Saka made a difference when he came on? I think he looked a little bit off the pace, but it seemed like we were getting the ball into the box a lot more often.
Yeah, it was more positive going forward than what we had in the first half. I think, it's still just very imbalanced. On the left we look good with Tierney going down, overlapping. On the right we didn't have anything, which didn't help Pepe. Saka definitely looked more promising in the first half. Martinelli went a bit quiet, got lost out there. I know he was trying to come in a bit to allow the overlap, but just needed someone out there to get on the ball and try to beat the defenders, and Saka brought that. But I hate to say it, but I think poor lad's going to be he's going to be relied on a lot this year again. because,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's not. We haven't got much else, but
Were there any positives that we could take from this game other than Tierney? Were there any positives?
I guess although it was forced, I think it was positive that he was willing to play the youngsters. Willian was nowhere to be seen. I don't think he's injured, so that's positive. But yeah, just I guess wait and see what we do in the window. You would have seen Willick's gone officially to Newcastle, so
Yeah.
hopefully that'll give us a bit of money to spend and finalize some deals. But I think we still need to get a few more out as well. So, do you think Laka is gone after being left out today?
Well, he was ill, wasn't he?
That's what they're saying. But
him and Aubameyang were sick, and Runeson. So I mean, we have to take it at face value. We have to say, okay, yeah, they obviously were sick, because I think if they were fit, they definitely would have played. Would you not? I mean, if you had Aubameyang and Lacazette available, you would never start with Martinelli and Balogun. I mean, I wouldn't. So I think you got to take it on face value that they were definitely sick.
You would think so.
Well,
but
yeah,
the way you responded to the question before kickoff,
I didn't actually see that. Yeah, you mentioned that. What was his response?
Just very cagey, you know.
Well,
if he was sick, you would be like, "Yeah, they're sick," you know. But he was like,
"What did he say?"
Yeah, can't say anything more. He was like, "What more is there to say?"
Mate, you know what? He is a very cagey, especially in his press conferences. He's like Wenger 2.0, but even worse. Like, you cannot get anything out of him. You know what I mean? If you're asking about, anything going on in the background, in the back room, in the dressing room, he just he's so cagey. It's almost rude a lot of the time. He's obviously learned that from Wenger, and he obviously just likes to keep his cards close to his chest. I mean, has there been any offers for Lacazette? I know there was talk of Atletico Madrid coming in, but anything else?
Nothing concrete, I don't think. And then that's the same for pretty much everyone that we're trying to get rid of, isn't it? Nothing really concrete.
No, I mean, if we do get rid of Lacazette, that means that we do need to bring in another striker, because we cannot go into the season with Aubameyang and Balogun. I mean, Balogun, I don't have any strong opinions about him. People do have a lot of strong opinions about him, saying, "Oh, we need to give him a chance." But what have we actually seen from him at all to suggest that he's ready for the first team? I mean, today might be, is testament that he might not be ready. He was up against two very experienced centre backs, an experienced defence, who muscled him off the ball every single time. He didn't really have many touches, especially not in the box. He had that one where he did slip. He took a shot and slipped and went up for a goal kick. Other than that, he didn't actually do anything. And it's not me being negative, it's me just pointing out that I don't think he's ready to start in the Premier League.
Yeah, I think Alan's right there. Our fans, are complaining we don't sell players, but our fans are also the same ones slagging them off for the last 6 months, and rightly so sometimes. We can't say they're shit, and we don't want them, and then complain when no one else wants them. So it's going to be tricky to get rid of them. Like Kolasinac, I saw the other day, he was on $11,000 a week in Germany, and then we signed him, gave him $100K a week. Why would you want to leave?
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is, we bring them in and we slag them off so much, and we literally just, make them seem like the worst player, and it just damages their value. And then we try to sell them, and then we wonder why people aren't buying them.
Yeah, we stand there and go, why don't they want our players?
Yeah, and I mean, that was a Wenger signing. I mean, Wenger brought Kolasinac in, and I remember in the first season, we were like, oh, this guy's pretty good. He's pretty, he can get forward, he can drive forward with the ball, and he can cross the ball. Just defensively, absolutely rubbish. Could not get back. So, it's just a lot of deadwood in the club. And I just, could you say that Edu has not done enough to get, to thin that deadwood this transfer window? I mean, we haven't really done enough, have we?
No, you mentioned, if we get rid of Lacazette, we need the striker. Seems like we're interested in Tammy Abraham, childhood gunner. Apparently, would
Really?
you take him?
Yeah. I mean, he scores goals, right? He scores goals.
I mean, people are saying he's not good enough, but he scored 15 goals last year for Chelsea.
Yeah. Okay. So he's not good. He's not. The thing is, he's not good enough for Chelsea. All right, but Chelsea are probably going to be challenging for the title this season.
Well,
He's not elite striker. He's probably a step below that. And we have to face the facts. That's where we are. We are a step below that. You know what I mean?
I mean, there is that way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is Chelsea do tend to get rid of their players while they're young, because they don't want them. They don't think they're good enough to go straight in, and then they end up buying them back for 100 million. So
it's like they plan it that way, right? It's like they plan it that way.
It may not be a bad thing.
It's an interesting business model, right? Interesting business model. Sell them for peanuts and buy them back for 100 million. Well, if that's how it works, then cool. Bring them on. Bring them to us, and then they can buy them from us for 100 million in 4 years. Although going on Arsenal's track record, we'll buy him, and then we'll struggle to get rid of him in 4 years.
Well, I guess the way I'm looking at it is, he scored 15 goals in his first year in the Premier League, and he's still only 21, 20, 22.
And that was
so he can only get better.
Yeah,
and he's a local guy who apparently loves Arsenal. So
they all say that, right? I've been a gunner all my life. And he scored 15 goals in a Frank Lampard team that were struggling. That Frank Lampard eventually got sacked from. So, I mean, depending on the price, bring him on. Is he an upgrade from Nketiah? Yeah, probably he is. Definitely.
Well, he's definitely further along. Nketiah is a year or two behind him. So it sounds like Nketiah, although the injury may make it difficult. Maybe difficult to move him on this window if he's currently injured, but it looks like there's a few clubs interested. So if we can get a decent fee for him, I think we're probably all right for strikers if we get one in like Abraham.
And, I think so.
Balogun's a big enough age gap away where we can start to build him up while we've got someone that's actually ready as well. So
I think, the last thing I'd want to see is for us to now think, okay, we've got to send Balogun on loan. I think that just means we need to, if Lacazette does go, all right, and then we do send Balogun out on loan, then we need two strikers. I think if we sell Lacazette, bring in Tabor Abraham, and then have Aubameyang, Abraham, and then a young Balogun to kind of stay there in the wings, I think that might be the way forward. I think he should be with us around the first team this season, playing Carling Cup matches or League Cup matches and that sort of thing. I think that would be better for his progression. But yeah.
Just having a look here. We've got 9 people watching. No one's joining us at the moment.
Come on, guys, join in. Call in.
But no, it's not looking good. Like I said, it's not the best way to start our season with the live stream with a 2-0 loss to a newly promoted side. But
newly promoted side that basically sussed out from the very beginning. I think they did their homework. They're a really progressive team. They're a really positive team. A team that are really on the rise. A good manager who is extremely involved in everything, in all aspects of the club. Well, not transfers, but he's an upfront manager. He, very open, talks to all the players, very involved in the dressing room. And I think they really just did their homework on us. I think they just knew. They've obviously watched us from last season and knew if we just put them under pressure, put the keeper under pressure, put the defenders under pressure, we will definitely get some chances. And that's exactly what happened. And they had, a tall striker like Tony up front, who I thought was amazing. Really strong in the air. He had a couple of good flick-ons, pass out of fence, really, and looked very dangerous. And wasn't there talk that we were interested in last year or something like that, or the beginning of the window we were looking at him?
Yeah, didn't want to pay his asking fee, and obviously now they're back in the Premier League, they're not going to want to sell him, and his cost would have gone up anyway. So yeah, maybe a bad move not to go in for him and pay the money last year, but yeah. The other thing is, he's also a first team player. So did we want to completely replace our goalkeeping team last year? Probably not. So
yeah. Are we talking about Raya?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. I was talking about Tony.
Oh, Tony. Sorry. Yeah.
But both of them. Yeah.
But
David Raya. I mean, how good was he today?
Yeah, that save from Pepe at the end.
It was a good save. He was dominant. Any sort of ball that came into the box, any shot, he just gathered up pretty well. Yeah, that save from Pepe. It was good play. It was really good play. Do you see what happens when you play the ball quick? You move the ball quickly up the pitch. That's what happens.
Yeah. But no, Tony. I haven't seen him play because I don't really watch the Championship. But from all accounts, he's a young striker. I think he's French. Young, scored close to 40 goals in the Championship. Surprised no one came in for him. I'm sure if they didn't get promoted in the playoff, then they probably would have sold him. But yeah, no, he should be a good player in the Premier League. Look good.
Yeah. I think I'm trying to look at what did I say? Where would I say Brentford would finish in the league? Oh, did we get rid of all our predictions?
I may have accidentally deleted them, but I'll bring them back.
I mean, I think I had them staying up. I think I had them finish 17th or 16th. But I mean, judging on that performance, I think they might just stand up. And looking at what's on everything online, people think that they probably will stay up. They'll probably do a Leeds. And
yeah, well, I mean, it's good to have a new club in the league. I think I was looking before the show. The last time Arsenal lost to Brentford was 8th of September 1938.
Pre-war, mate. That's pre-war.
And the last time they were in the Premier League was like 1939, 1940. So I was like, yeah, long time. Good to see. Small club. But yeah, don't want to be losing to them.
Yeah, what they said, their last first division game was against us, actually. And we beat them 1-0. So it just seems quite fitting that their next first team top flight game was against us. Yeah. Anyway, in the chat, everyone's saying that they would like Abraham. Yeah, I think we can all agree that we would definitely take Tammy Abraham.
Yeah,
something different, right?
Better than what we have. So.
I mean, so what players? Who were we missing today? We're missing Thomas Partey, Gabriel Magalhaes in the back, Aubameyang and Lacazette. So, with those players in, would it have been a different result? Would the team have played differently if we had those players in? Because that's at least 4 first-team players who were out.
I was going to say, you don't want to make excuses, but Lacazette, Gabriel, Partey is kind of our spine. So you can look at it that way and say, there was a big miss, but
a big loss. I mean, Lacazette does give us a lot. He's, he holds up the ball. He's the best player we have to hold up the ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And
to have that focal point up front is an advantage, especially when you got players like Pepe and Martinelli run off the side of him. Something that Balogun couldn't do today.
Yeah. I think Mike might be on the drink already.
Bring back Bentner.
Although, you'd probably take him in this current squad, wouldn't you?
No. I would still say no. Come on, Mike, jump on the call, mate.
I think Mike might be out watching his son play.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, probably better entertainment value than watching us.
Probably. A lot of work to do for the next 2 weeks. There's still 2 weeks left of the transfer window. We have a lot of work to do. That's what I've taken from this game is we've got a lot to do. We've got a lot to improve on.
Yeah, a lot to do. A lot to hopefully change. I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But I think we've got a couple of people watching, but no one's joining. I think we might sort of leave it. I'm starting to run out of things to talk about. It's depressing. It's a Saturday. I think probably want to go spend our weekend doing something positive. So
I'm going on a bit of adventure. I'm going to Castle Hill. Just outside Christchurch. Yeah, so on the way there pretty soon. So but I mean,
I think we might leave it there. But we've got Chelsea up next. I think. Could be wrong. Let me have a look there. We've got Chelsea on Monday next week. So look, we'll try and do something again next week. Make this a regular thing.
Not Monday next week, the week after.
Sorry, week after.
Next week. Week after.
Week after.
But
23rd.
Guys, listen to us on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. We are going to be doing 2 shows weekly, a preview show and a review show. So, keep an eye out for that.
Yeah, keep an eye out. Get involved. Be active. Try to, get this sort of New Zealand community of Gunners together and get through this hard time.
All right. Cool. Cheers, guys.
All right. Well, I'll see you later, Dave.
Yeah. Cool. Cheers, guys. Bye.